this message will apply to all people. But in some regards, I'm specifically talking about people who are living out of their car, van, or RV, or older people who don't have a lot of money and they're choosing between Section 8 housing, low income housing, subsidized housing versus living in their vehicle because they don't want to be trapped in an apartment, especially maybe not an undesirable environment in that apartment complex. I want to remind everyone, no matter what your life circumstance, you don't have to stay in your house, but you need some type of place to go back to, or the resources, the youth, and the health to be able to endure the road. So if you don't have the resources financially, emotionally, mentally, to be on the road full time, keep a shared apartment, keep a subsidized apartment, and go to a park all day. Wake up early, get in your vehicle, or walk if you don't have a vehicle, and go to a park. Be outside every day. There's a falsehood that forcing yourself to go outside, the only way to do it is to go live in a vehicle, to get rid of your apartment or house. Now, there may be a season of that, okay, which I did, but I've had the wherewithal and the youth and the time period of my life to be able to do it, and I paid the price. Overall, it's been a great experience living out of my vehicle, but I could tell you it takes some work. It takes some tenacity long term, 5 years, full time on the road. And in extreme weather, when you get sick, hurt, injured, pandemic, anything, I don't think we'll live through a pandemic again, but a lot of things happen during the course of years that, especially for vulnerable people, having a place to go back to is helpful. But I don't want to sentence you to being trapped indoors, because I recognize that can bring depression and health problems when you don't get outside and fresh air and nature. But this is the message. Find a local park, and even if you have to drive a little bit, if you have a vehicle, drive an hour away. Find a local park. Go there early. Spend all day there, as long as you want, as you can legally be there. And then at the very night, just go back to your apartment or house for whatever you need to do to have your sleep. And try not to go back there to take a nap. Just stay up, or nap in your vehicle at the park. But this is what I mean. Don't feel that you have to do all or nothing. Now, sometimes I'm all or nothing, but I take a risk. And at times when I've done that, I've paid the price, because you don't always win that all or nothing game. So I want to encourage you, not discourage you, to do whatever you want, but to remember, find a park, find a park, find a park, a nice one, within an hour of where you live. And if you're a full-time nomad, find a public park so you can stealth camp there at night, because you don't want to abuse that. But so as soon as you're done stealth camping somewhere else or at a campground, go to that park, okay, and be out there. Parks are your friend. They're your nature. But you don't need to live in a vehicle. You don't need a lot of money. They're free. But you do need to push yourself to wake up to get there and to go walking, okay? And that's going to take some pushing. When I had a house, I started that way. I would just go to local parks, and then I would go further and further away from my home base. And then eventually I said, this is the time period in my life. I have the resources. I'm going to maintain a job. I'm going to relocate to Florida. I'm going to live in my vehicle full time. But I want to tell you, that took a couple years to decide that. And, I may be at the decision where I'm deciding something different. But I want to tell you, for the vulnerable people who are past that time window in life, you're elderly or you don't have a lot of income, keep a shared apartment, keep a subsidized apartment, and just go out all day. Don't come back to it. Don't spend the majority of your day in a bad environment. You don't have to. You have a choice. Use a house or an apartment for what it is, a place to go when you need refuge. But if you can leave that apartment or house for a year and never come back, then get rid of it. And I did the same thing. I basically tried to figure out, could I survive without a house? When I still had a house, I would go out and kind of like not go back to it. And I was like, well, could I see myself never going back to a house? For a period of time, yeah. So that's the message. I want you to Google search and then go to local parks, whether you're a full-time nomad or someone elderly, low income, whatever. Don't become a nomad. Take care of your money and your health. Maintain a home base and go to a park all day. There's your nature. There's outdoors. There's not being in a bad housing environment. There is your choice. Every moment you watch a video, you can be in a park going for a walk. You don't have to be a full-time nomad. You can go to a park right now. Okay? And if it's cold, bundle up. If it's wet, get an umbrella. If it's hot, bring your suntan lotion. And if you can't do that, stay in your house because you can't be outdoors. That is the message in this video.